on to the carriage. You accept on your biscuits.
Let the Marketplace help you pull together any party or any special occasion. The Marketplace Food Court offers all kinds of dishes, dinners, and sushi made to order. Choose from a variety of party platters, whether it's chicken wings or shrimp, classic meat and cheese, fruit and vegetables. Between the Marketplace Food Court and the Marketplace Bakeries, we have everything you need and more. Let the Marketplace be your kitchen away from home. Visit us 7 days a week for quality service and prices you can count on.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, December 13th, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Topping our news, senators have debated and passed the controversial domestic partnership bill, with the 3 independent senators voting with the 5 government senators to give approval. It was the lone 3 opposition senators who voted against the other 8. All eyes tonight now on Government House, the seat of power for the United Kingdom. The bill will soon make its way there, where Governor John Rankin will either sign it or, in an extreme scenario, veto it. Political observers so far saying despite how the UK government may feel, the governor is likely to give it approval and avoid sparking a constitutional crisis. They feel the bill, while unpopular with some camps, still provides the minimum legal framework for gay couples as required by the European courts. Meanwhile, the board members of the Bermuda Tourism Authority tonight distancing themselves from the sentiments expressed by Kevin Dallas, the CEO of the BTA. Mr. Dallas had written a letter to senators encouraging them to strike down the domestic partnership bill, claiming it would hurt tourism. But a statement from the BTA Board of Directors states the board strives to provide useful information to support any tourism-related debate in Bermuda, including domestic partnerships. They add, as an organization, they respect all views and opinions on this matter and remain focused on our primary objective, bringing more visitors to Bermuda. The statement continues to be clear, however, the Bermuda Tourism Authority is a non-political entity, and decisions about Bermuda's policies and laws are outside the Bermuda Tourism Authority's remit and are the responsibility of Parliament. We have full trust in Bermuda's elected and appointed officials to effectively carry out the democratic process on behalf of Bermuda's citizens. Mr. Dallas's letter to senators on the issue had raised eyebrows in political circles, and among observers was some questioning whether or not it was the appropriate thing to do. In other news, guardedly optimistic. That's how the Bermuda Industrial Union feels about the change in management at the Elbow Beach Resort. As we reported exclusively, the facility is soon to be run by a group called Elbow Beach Services Limited. Gary Moreno spoke with Union President Chris Ferbert about this development and tells us more in this report.
Mr. Ferbert telling us a principal of Elbow Beach recently met with the union as well as hotel staff, revealing that the company has invested in the region of $200 million in the property over the last 30 years. And as we reported, the hiring of a new management company is a last-ditch effort to keep the resort open. He assures the union understands the situation, but expects the new management group to meet them halfway.
We're not taking anything for chance. We have to now build a relationship, and it's one day at a time, and we put our cards right on the table that people over the years have had their challenges with the MEF group of companies. So as I said to the individuals who heard this morning, I'm looking at the glass as being half full as opposed to the glass being half empty.
It is understood the new managers have indicated that every attempt will be made to secure the jobs of the 110 staff, but it will be based on performance and conduct. These, as there supposedly have been reports that hotel staff have not been doing the best job. Mr. Ferbert agrees that while the onus is on staff to perform to the best of their ability, management also has a role in that regard.
If the staff don't have the proper morale, then they can't properly, I don't feel like I'm energized to come work every morning. So naturally enough, my motivation is not what it needs to be. And I think that, over the last few years, with the last 2 managers, I think that staff morale is going in another direction. I know if you went up there and talked to your staff about, Mr. Stosak, who was there for maybe 5 to 7 years, how long he was there, I think the work relationship that they had under Mr. Stosak was a lot better than what it's been over the past 5 to 7 years with the 2 previous managers. And I think that has a lot to do with the way how people are performing their everyday work.
The new management group, Elbow Beach Services, we're told, is being set up by the MEF Group, which, according to Mr. Ferbert, does not have the best industrial relations record, something which he made clear will now have to change.
We've had phone calls about the MEF Group and the way how they treat their employees. And all I said to the managers that we spoke to this morning, you're not coming into mainstream union categories, front desk, room attendants, maintenance, all of this. And even though food and beverage was also predominantly BIU, and over the years they've outsourced some food and beverage. Now, whether or not you want to talk to you, now you really have to. Because first of all, those departments are not going anywhere.
Sources tell us Elbow Beach Services will involve a number of local consultants, among them said to be Dale Butler, whom we understand is about to retire from the MEF Group, but will be retained to carry out a number of major projects. Also said to be involved is former Speaker and one-time hotel executive, Mr. Randolph Horton. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we reached out to the MEF Group for comment again today, but once more have yet to hear back from them. Stay with us, more news in tonight's BFNM AccuWeather forecast after the break.
You can count on us.
Save $5 on USDA standing rib roast, only $14.99 per pound. Great for Christmas dinner broccoli crowns, just $3.99 per pound. Trappy's Sugary Sam sweet potatoes, only $1.79 for a 15-ounce tin. Ocean Spray cranberry sauce for your Christmas turkey, only $1.99 for a 14-ounce tin. Blue Bonnet margarine sticks, just $1.79 for a 1-pound package. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us. Santa suits
and party hats,
letters sent,
gifts neatly wrapped.
It must be Christmas. Let the magic begin.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Colonial, where people come first.
Your home, your life, security. Be fire and burglar free. Right from your phone, monitor, control. Lock safes, doors, gates, business, family safe. You're on the go, and that's okay. BSG with you every
Bermuda Security Group, your security, life safety, and monitoring experts. We're with you every step of the way. Bermuda Security Group, BSG.BM.
Ask a Bermudian why we love our Bermuda, and we might say because of the clear blue water and the pink sand. We may mention our way of talking and how we look out for each other, or our pride of place, and how coming home after a long absence feels like a return to paradise. Whatever we say, our response is always honest, real, and heartfelt. Why do you love Bermuda?
Welcome back. Government has sharpened its weapons against gang violence by putting in place a special team designed to handle a crisis on the front lines. As Tarai Trott reports, the team would specialize in counseling the victims of a crisis, such as a violent incident, with their immediate presence in any given neighborhood.
The next time there is a major act of violence, the new crisis response team could be deployed. Announcing the new initiative aimed at addressing the issue of gang and gun violence, Wayne Kane's the National Security Minister, revealing the volunteer team will work under the remit of the Interagency Response Team.
This is the team that attends sites of violent incidents such as a shooting or a stabbing, and their intervention to date has been genuinely felt within our community. In tense and trying conditions, they provide crisis counseling to residents who witness tragic events. The team also goes door to door, providing support and offering much-needed guidance and services to the area affected by the violence.
The team has been in action for around 4 months in its current form, with the ministry providing a similar service over the last 2 years.
Recently, they have formulated a guide to respond to gang violence incidents in our community.
Speaking to the logistics of the team, Pastor Leroy Bean, the government's gang violence reduction coordinator, explains that on a given night where violence has taken place, typically 3 teams at different locations will be sent out.
What would happen is the first group will be broken up into 2 parts. One part will go to the hospital, the next part will go to the actual community that is affected. What happens when they go, they are there to form a support group system for those that are suffering, the victims that are suffering from the antisocial behavior or any type of crisis that is taking place during the night.
Team volunteers are given specialized training.
Everyone will go through a training program. It has different levels. So there are people on our team that will be trained psychologists. There will be people on our team that are just there providing support. There are different levels of persons on the team.
On the night of the last shooting incident in November on Parsons Road, it was the crisis response team that played a key role.
There were young people in the 2A Deepdale. There were people at the hospital. There were people in the Parsons Road area. They were disheveled. The kids were crying in the street to ride. They needed immediate support. This team broke down its constituent parts. They helped the young people. They went to the hospital. They settled the situation at the hospital.
The thinking is the crisis team can be sent to help in incidents beyond violence, such as a natural disaster or a national emergency. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In other news, one family is tonight grieving the loss of their dog who died after ingesting rat poison on their property. Jasmine Patterson reports.
This will be one Christmas this family will want to soon forget. Presents for a family member that will never be opened.
He has been my close companion for 8 years. He's a special dog. He's very friendly and full of life and loyal and sweet. And something like rat poison isn't something that you would think would kill your dogs.
Miss Wynn found the lifeless body of her 8-year-old Dachshund Yorkie mix, Jazz, in her backyard early this morning. She and her son Michael were too devastated to face the camera today.
I picked him up quickly and I took him to the vet that confirmed that he was dead. I had vector control here and they confirmed as well. And the government nurse, veterinarian, also confirmed that he had eaten the poison. We found evidence of it.
The black boxes containing the deadly poison were placed around her property by Bermuda Vector Control staff after she expressed concerns of a rat infestation.
I told him I saw a rat approaching our driveway twice and that I was concerned about them coming up here. And he said that he can come and put down some traps. And I had my dog with me, and I asked him at the time, you know, is this safe? Because I have a small dog that runs around. And he said that they would be put in a secure place.
But as we found out, the traps were not safely installed.
They were just put down unsecured, and I now know that they should be staked down. My concern is that if this is how they're putting traps down while they don't have stakes, then there are other pets that are at risk.
Police were taking a statement from the family when we arrived, but she says there is little they can do to bring Jazz back.
I don't know if that we'll be pressing any charges. They've already said it was negligence. You know, can't bring back Jazz. But I think they need to certainly look at their processes and protocols to ensure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
Manager of Vector Control taking responsibility for the death of Jazz, but raises questions as to how exactly the box was opened.
We'll take responsibility because of the worker. He knows he felt really, really bad. So we'll take responsibility of taking care of the vet charges and those types of things there. I just hope that it wasn't somebody's pried that thing open. Because looking at the dog and looking at the pictures of the dog, there's no way that dog can open up that box. The process basically is, if somebody buys a bait box, the officer will take it out to the yard. They will put the bait box down, stake it. And we keep the keys. To get that bait box open, you will probably have to take a screwdriver, pry it open. That's how tough it is.
While Vector Control confirmed it is not their practice to install bait boxes without stakes, Ms. Wynn sends a plea not to leave the poison exposed.
Don't place them without proper security of them. If you're out of stakes, as I'm led to understand, then don't put the traps down. Do not put the traps down unless they're staked very securely. It's just basic. Don't do it for expediency. Just do it the right way.
Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Very sad news. In other news this evening, the Misuse of Drugs or Decriminalization of Cannabis Amendment Act 2017 unanimously passed in the upper house this evening, making it legal once again. It is assented by the governor. However, there are gray areas surrounding the act, with some even believing it's now safe to light up. National Security Minister Wayne Kane spoke with Tarai Trott about the confusion, and Gary Moreno has the details.
Let's start with the biggest misconception as to whether you can now have possession of 7 grams of cannabis or less.
The Minister with Responsibility, Minister the Honourable Zane De Silva, has endeavoured and has given an undertaking that his department will put out an education campaign. The education campaign will set out what the rules are, will set out what the limitations are. But let me just say that we are not allowed now to walk around everyone smoking marijuana in the public. There will be clear guidelines set out for the members of the public. It is decriminalized. It is indeed not legal.
Now, what happens if a police officer or some other member of the uniformed services is caught with a little herb? After all, possession of 7 grams or less will no longer be a criminal offense.
Members of the uniformed services, like all public officers, are governed by a code of conduct. That code of conduct fosters a drug-free workplace. Nothing has changed with the passing of this legislation. Members of the uniformed services will still must conduct themselves without the use of marijuana and marijuana in their system.
And that goes for anyone considering joining the uniformed services as well. And staying with the uniformed services, how will police officers determine whether a person should be arrested if caught with cannabis? How will they determine the amount, since, of course, scales are not standard equipment for police?
At the Bermuda Police Service, speaking in operational policing is a matter for the police commissioner. But I can tell you that the police commissioner is looking at developing a policy as it relates to dealing with cannabis and the arrest, and with how they measure it, with how they weigh it, and that's a policy that will be developed with the police and shared with the members of the public when the time is appropriate.
And what about the street dealer? No doubt they've heard the news that if the act becomes law, getting caught with 7 grams or less is not a criminal offense.
With the intent to supply element, there are certain key things that are also included with the weight of the drugs, how the drugs are packaged, if there are any elements with them. And so there are a number of elements to be considered when they're considering the with intent to supply element. Also, you have the element of increased penalty zones.
Of course, the focus of the bill was to avoid people in general, and young black males in particular, being caught with small amounts of cannabis and being slapped with criminal convictions, and further, being placed on the dreaded stop list. Gary Moreno, being placed on the dreaded stop list with all that entails. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Turning to weather news, mostly unsettled conditions until Sunday when it clears up. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. Good evening, Bermuda. I'm your AccuWeather meteorologist, Daji Aswad. We have been seeing some gusty conditions here across the island, and that will continue into tonight. Some of those windy conditions will subside just a tad bit in between these frontal systems. That front pushing its way out of the area, but leaving us with a band of cloud coverage here, and that's what we can expect to see tonight, as well as some leftover moisture. Our current conditions across the island, seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, around 66 degrees. Humidity 71%, winds out of the west 18 to 22 knots. So we saw gale force winds earlier this morning. Today, they're still going to be on the high side, and that's going to affect our marine conditions as well. Water temperature at 71 and waves in the reef 2 to 4 feet, waves out 12 to 17. So this is where we have the winds affecting our marine conditions, and that's why we do have a small craft warning out until Friday, because as these frontal boundaries continue to roll through, we'll see high winds as well as precipitation in the area. So tonight, still some spotty showers here, as well as partly cloudy conditions with a low of 63 degrees. And then as we head into tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit more sunny, but the clouds still sticking around, still windy out there. High of 73, low of 67. And if you're on the boat, here's what you can expect in terms of your high tide. We saw our first high tide this evening at 5:16 p.m. Our second one is expected at 5:57 a.m. for your Thursday morning. And we will still have those winds out there, so keep that in mind. And if you're headed away on a trip, here's a look at some cities. Toronto, 21 degrees. For their high, 14 will be the low with cloudy conditions. We're seeing snowfall out in New York, topping off at 36 degrees. Miami, 72 with mostly sunny skies. And for London, cloudy conditions out there with a high of 43 degrees. Across the Caribbean, everyone's getting some showers here on our map. Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, all looking at spotty showers across the islands. Temperatures in the low to upper 80s. And as for us, our extended forecast, here's what we can expect. Thursday, still some residual moisture around the area, spotty showers. Then by Friday, another cold front comes through. That's going to be a weaker cold front, still bringing some moisture and as well as windy conditions. And then as we head into your Saturday, this will be the strongest cold front so far that we see this week, because it's going to bring even windier conditions as well as a big temperature change. So as we head into your Sunday, temperatures dropping into the upper 60s here, and we'll see some cloudy conditions. But the great news, we will be drying out as high pressure builds in. And be sure to stay tuned to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for all your latest news and updates.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there is no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 29th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any Marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores and purchase extra tins and non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donations into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company and the Royal Gazette.
Island Soul, where fashion meets comfort. Island Soul provides fashionable footwear hand-selected by our podiatrist that offers premium comfort. Located at 60 Victoria Street, Hamilton, Island Soul contains a friendly trained staff prepared to assist you with our vast selection of footwear, both male and female, with all sizes and widths available. Compression and travel socks, amongst other accessories, are also available in addition to a shoe modification and repair service, making Island Soul a one-stop shop for all your footwear needs.
Turning to sports, Bermuda Winter Olympian talks qualification run in Finland. A young sailor continues competing in China, and swimmers break records in the National Sports Center pool. Earl Baisden has the details in tonight's sports report.
It was Monday. ZBM Sports reported that Matthew Lejour met the standards, qualifying him for the Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games in moguls. He arrived recently back in the USA, and we had a chance to talk to him about his run.
First of all, I wanted to start off by just saying that me and my coach were noticing that, a lot of athletes were actually struggling out there for the level it was, and we were evaluating the competition, and since I was running later in the run order, I had a good amount of time to observe and watch what was happening and where mistakes were happening most, and mistakes were happening a lot in that top half of the course after the top air. And so me and my coach reevaluated, and we said, well, we would be a little more conservative in the top section of the course, and, and really make sure we nailed the exit of the course, or exit of the top air, and so we got through that part, and then we could charge through the rest of the middle section and go into the bottom air for a big bottom air. But other than that, I went with a back full on the top air and cork 7 on the bottom air.
6 races down, and Ben Smith has fallen 2 more places as he continued competing in the 47th edition of the Youth Sailing World Championships going on in China. Smith is competing in the laser radial fleet among 50 other competitors. At the conclusion of day 3, Smith finds himself in 40th place and now has 161 net points. Smith recorded his best finish of the regatta during the first race of the day and the 5th of the series, crossing the line in 22nd place. He would follow that up with a 44th place finish in the second and final race of the day. Naki Wells was once again an unused substitute as Burnley climbed into the Champions League places as Ashley Barnes' late winner earned them a 1-0 win over Stoke City last evening. Meanwhile, Reggie Lamb and his Carlisle United teammates' Emirates FA Cup second round replay against Gillingham was postponed due to the recent extremely cold spell of weather. The Sharks Swim Club hosted a long course swim meet at the National Sports Center with 2 records broken. Jesse Washington broke his own men's 15 and over 100 meter freestyle record with a time of 51.65, breaking his time of 52.49. He set back on March 24th, 2016 during the 31st Carifta Swimming Championships in Martinique. Imogen Judd has established a new Bermuda record in the girls 10 and under 400 meter IM when she touched the water in a time of 6:35.69. During the boys 13 and 14 100 meter freestyle, Brian Desmond clocked a winning time of 58.33. Keegan Woolley was second in 58.50 and Caleb Ingham finished third, stopping the clock at a time of 1:01.19. Logan Watson-Brown won the girls 13 to 14 200 meter freestyle, clocking a time of 2:16.24. Gabriella Pittman was second in 2:23.07 and Emily Argent finished third in a time of 3:02.69. The Bermuda Under-19 national basketball team fell in their second and final warm-up match in preparation for the Heart Lake Winter Classic basketball tournament in Ontario, Canada. Bermuda took on host Heart Lake Secondary, going down 75-45. Heart Lake were a better team in terms of their organization, structure, and athleticism, and as expected, they applied full court pressure. Team captain Jarrell Smith was the standout for the team as he scored 22 points but had to sit much of the first half with foul trouble. 4 of Bermuda's top junior squash players began taking part in the Canadian Junior Open Squash Championships in Niagara Falls. Abigail Brewer competed in the girls under-17 bronze division. Brewer went down to her Canadian opponent Alyssa Ferris in her opening game in straight games 11-4, 11-5, 11-2. Brewer would then fall 11-4, 11-4, 11-8 to Valentina Sanchez from Colombia. Charlie Riker reached the second round of the consolation for the boys under-17 division. Riker first fell 11-8, 10-12, 11-7, 11-4 to Bryce Christiansen from Canada. Riker would then defeat Reed Fitzgerald from Canada 11-3, 11-6, 11-6. Anaya Smith competed in the boys under-19 bronze division. He would first fall 11-6, 11-5, 11-7 to Peter Trafford from Canada. He would next fall 11-6, 11-4, 11-6 to Zad Salem from Egypt. Taylor Carrick competed in the boys under-17 consolation round. He would pick up a win, defeating Liam Jinks from Canada 5-11, 12-10, 11-5, 11-4. Carrick would then fall in his next match in 5 games 9-11, 11-6, 7-11, 11-7, 11-9 to his Canadian opponent. In commercial bowling league action at the Warwick Lanes, it saw the Pin Pushers defeat PTC 4-0. The Superstars defeated the Braves 4-0. The Spinners defeated Cool Runners 3-1. BPS Blue Lanterns got by 10 Pin Mafia 3-1. While the Sunset defeated Sweet Life 3-1. The game between Secret Weapons and We Do It Big ended 2-2. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us.
Mixed peel or farine, just $3.99 a pound for your Christmas baking. New Zealand frozen whole lamb legs, only $4.99 per pound. Champion seedless raisins, just $3.09 for a 12-ounce box. Coke, Barrett's Ginger Beer, or Sunkist Orange Soda for your holiday parties, only $5.85 for a 6-pack. For your Christmas trimming, Cross and Blackwell Piccalilli, just $5.49 for a 310-gram jar. Have a safe and Merry Christmas holiday from the Marketplace family.
You can count on us.
Blurry
ride following your eye appointment? Had one too many? Or simply too tired to face the drive home at the end of a long night? There are lots of reasons why you couldn't and shouldn't get behind the wheel. Introducing HomeSafe from Security Associates, the island's only car and driver home delivery service. Reschedule with us and a HomeSafe driver will deliver you and your car right to your door. Whatever your reason for not driving, you can always get HomeSafe. Call 298-2626 for pricing and to find out how you can become a member, or visit homesafebermuda.com. Terms and conditions apply.
And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Good night.